Hey everyone, I'm Jason Green, and I'm here to tell you about Deadpool. Deadpool, starring Ryan Reynolds, this is his passion project by the way, is probably the most bombastic, offensive, bloody, disgusting, profane superhero movie almost ever, probably. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I loved it. It also made a killing at the box office. What is it? Highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. Holy shit. But what made Deadpool so great? Well, in a nutshell, it was just a lot of fun. It was a nice breath of fresh air from, all the serious, somber, just brooding superhero movies that we get nowadays. Like, for Christ's sakes, Man of Steel was pretty much a Batman movie. I mean, Superman is supposed to be a bright symbol of hope, and he was dark and brooding in his own movie, but that's a whole conversation for another day. Now, I've only dabbled in Deadpool lore. I've skimmed across a few of his comics, I know the gist of him, and honestly, when I heard they were making a Deadpool movie a few years ago, I was really surprised, because from reading his comics and just, knowing what type of character he is, the type of character to break the fourth wall, and such, I never thought they would actually make a movie. And it did take Ryan Reynolds a really long time, like 11 years or so, he said in an interview, to get this movie finally off the ground. And I bet you those executives who kept denying him are really eating their words right now. But I never thought there would ever be a Deadpool movie on the big screen, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So yeah, in a nutshell, like I said, this movie is just a lot of fun. Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool, the same way Robert Downey Jr. was born to play Tony Stark. I cannot see the two as separate people now. Ryan Reynolds is Wade Wilson / Deadpool. He brings a lot of charm, a lot of charisma to the role when he talks to the audience, when he breaks the fourth wall. It's very refreshing to see and very just fun. I mean, my eyes were gleaming. I had a huge grin on my face the whole time. It's really a funny movie too. Like there are parts in the Avengers and other Marvel movies where they make funny quips, but overall it's a serious story. In Deadpool, like, I was laughing out loud at some parts. And there's a good reason it's rated R too, which I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but there are some scenes in there that if you bring your kid with you, you're going to have a weird time explaining what you just saw to them. Now, obviously, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool steals the show, but every other character has their moments, and they really shine well. I really liked Colossus, by the way. I mean, he was pretty much ripped out of the pages of an X-Men comic. In the other Bryan Singer X-Men movies, the actor who was playing Colossus, he was good. He was really good in those movies, but Colossus never looked like Colossus. He looked like a realistic depiction of what we would actually imagine a real-life Colossus to look like. The Colossus in Deadpool was like straight out of 1992 X-Men. And he was such like a goody two-shoes, Boy Scout type guy. He was more of a Superman than Superman in these latest Superman movies. And the scenes with him in Deadpool really were just like the show stealers. I mean, you have Deadpool on one side, who's like the evil angel on your shoulder, and then you have Colossus, who's like the good angel, and they clash, and it's just a lot of fun. The villain, Ajax, I mean, I guess you can kind of make the argument that he was a little one-note, and he was just like a villain for the sake of being a villain, much like, how people complain about Marvel movie villains, how they have no depth, but I feel like in Deadpool it works because this is a very, like, by-the-numbers, revenge-type tale, and Deadpool pretty much knows. Like, he breaks the fourth wall, he knows what's going on. So I wouldn't expect a in-depth villain to be in a Deadpool movie. So the villain in this movie, Ajax, he was a lot of fun to watch too, as was his partner, Angel Dust. And let's not forget the weirdest sounding X-Men name who was partnered with Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Now, I looked her up afterwards, and she's a newer X-Men, and I mean, it's cool they want to introduce her and all, and I'm blanking on the actress's name, but she wasn't in it too much, but the jabs that Deadpool had with her were really funny, fourth wall breaking and all. Though the one thing I didn't expect about this movie was how much of a heart it had. I mean, going into it, I thought it was just going to be a bloodbath, hack and slash type film. It's about Deadpool trying to, go after and save his girlfriend, and when they meet about halfway through the film, there's a lot of heart to it, a lot of romantic heart. It's like kind of sick and twisted, but it's like, it's there. It's a lot more depth than we've gotten in a few other superhero movies. Like when Wade Wilson and Vanessa, who's his girlfriend, when they meet at the bar, they have like this exchange of like these quips back and forth of who's had the more fucked up life. And, obviously it's, a little morbid, but it actually is kind of sweet in a twisted way, and it works. Deadpool is filmed with great choreographed fighting, really good humor, a love story which has way more depth than I ever thought it would have in this type of movie, and you'll probably bust a gut laughing. If you haven't seen Deadpool already, then I highly recommend it. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. As always, you can follow me on Twitter, jgreen89, JAYGREEN 89. And please follow my podcast, the Blah Blah Podcast, BLAH Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Blah Blah Pod 1. Me and my friends, we just ramble on about movies and entertainment. Episodes drop every Wednesday. It's a lot of fun. You'll like it. Thanks for watching again, and my next review next week will be The Witch.